got to get ready to go here.
NBA 3 ball. He just absolutely drains that one.
7 seconds. There you go.
Hello and good evening from Snohomish High School on STSPN.com. I'm Mark Aucutt. Tom Lafferty will be joining me in a little bit. And tonight it is boys high school basketball, Wesco 4A, and district playoff implications definitely on the line in this one. Lake Stevens Vikings, they're 4-8, 8-11 overall, playing against the Snohomish Panthers at 3-9, 6-12 overall. We start just a little bit later tonight because it's senior night. So the seniors were honored out there in a great presentation before tonight's contest. Now here's how it looks. Lake Stevens needs to win their next 2 games to get into districts because the top 6 teams get in. The first 2 teams get a bye in the first round. For Snohomish, they get a win tonight and they stay alive, but could still be eliminated with a Monroe win tomorrow, and they play Monroe coming up on Tuesday night. And so lots of interesting implications and setups going into this game tonight. And as we move through the rest of the regular season, we're happy to bring it to you on STSPN.com. I mentioned tomorrow we will have a big game coming up as well, right here on STSPN.com, and that features the Kamiak Knights at the Jackson Timberwolves boys basketball. That starts at 7:15, and then girls basketball here on STSPN.com on Monday night, and that will feature the Monroe Bearcats against the Snohomish Panthers in a battle for first and second. So lots of excellent programming coming your way, including the NWAC tournament, which takes place March 10th through the 13th at Everett Community College. Again, I'm Mark Aucutt. Todd Elvig is our director and producer here tonight, as we'll keep you on top of how this one unfolds. The band is here. You see them across the way on your screen here at Snohomish High School, and just adding that extra level of energy to the building. Decent crowd on hand on both sides. Actually, from us, looking over on the left and right, we've got a good crowd here tonight at Snohomish High School, and then across the way, the students are filling it up as well. So the Snohomish Panthers have had their troubles this year, 3-9 in conference play and 6-12 overall. And again, Lake Stevens right there at 4-8 and 8-11. And you take a look where they stand. Lake Stevens in 5th place in Wesco 4A, and then Snohomish right behind them, along with Monroe at 3-9. Mount Vernon in last place at 2-10. The top team, and a team that is ranked 4th in the state in the Seattle Times poll, that is the Cascade Bruins. 12-0, just having a phenomenal year. 18-0 overall. Kamiak behind them at 10-2, and then Jackson at 9-3. Mariner coming in at 5-7. We're going to have plenty of coverage of the district tournament for both the boys and the girls in 4A and 3A right here on your home for local high school and college sports. That is STSPN.com, and we'll keep you abreast of what's going on right there as we go through the broadcast. Also, certain games will be taken down that have already played during the district tournaments, just as kind of a way to keep a competitive playing field, if you will. So, but catch them live here on STSPN as you see the officials come across the court, and we're getting closer to our starting lineups for tonight's game. We'll take a 60-second timeout, and then we'll take a look at more coming your way right here on STSPN.com. It is the Lake Stevens Vikings and the Snohomish Panthers coming your way. Welcome back to Snohomish High School. It's senior night and a big night for both teams battling for a district playoff spot, the Lake Stevens Vikings and the Snohomish Panthers. Again, I'm Mark Aucutt here on STSPN.com. And let's take a look at the starting lineups for both of these teams. First of all, for Lake Stevens, Mark Hine in his 13th year as head coach of the Vikings. His assistants are Wade Knowles, Dave Pickering, and Jacob Strong. Taking a look at the starters for the Vikings, Ryder Kavanaugh starts. He is a guard, sophomore at 6 feet tall. Also starting for Lake Stevens will be a 6'2 junior forward. That is Wyatt Wahlberg. On board for Lake Stevens, a 6'2 senior guard, Dante Lewis. Also starting at guard is a 6-foot sophomore, Connor Bardu. And starting at forward, a 6'4 junior, Trey Pavitt. So you've got Kavanaugh, Wahlberg, Lewis, Bardo, and Trey Pavitt for head coach Mark Hine. Now taking a look at the starting lineup for the Snohomish Panthers, their head coach is Len Bone. He's in his 20th season. And the assistants are Steve Redeman, Jeff Armstrong, Torrey Jelinek, and Mike Coombs. First of all, starting at one guard position, a 6'2 senior, Jake Sjogren. Also starting at guard, a 6'4 senior, Kobe McDaniels. Mitch Morris starts as a guard. He is a 6'1 senior. Peyton Plucker starting at forward. He's a 6'1 senior. And at forward, starting a 6'5 senior, Jake Perry. So you've got Sjogren, McDaniel, Morris, Plucker, and Perry for 20th year head coach Len Bone as they bring him out on the court. And we'll have Tom Lafferty joining us shortly here on senior night. He knows what it's like to be a senior at Snohomish High School. He graduated from here, and Tom's also a 2009 inductee of the Snohomish High School Hall of Fame. Tom, great to see you.
Nice to see you. You call and I come.
This is great. I'm so glad you could get here and be part of this. And we've got a lot of exciting broadcasts and webcasts coming to people's way over the next few weeks with both the conclusion of the regular season, the district tournament for high school on both 4A and 3A, and then the NWAC tournament.
Well, and this is a big, huge game tonight between Lake Stevens and Snohomish. Snohomish and Monroe are tied in the last spot that goes to the district tournament. Mount Vernon at 2-10, pretty much out of it. Both Snohomish and Monroe at 3-9. Lake Stevens at 4-8. So they're all right there with a chance. And you just got to be in the top 6 to make the tournament.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what's happening. Cascade and Kamiak are pretty much locked up the top 2 spots. They get a first-round bye. Then Jackson, Mariner, Lake Stevens, and then Snohomish or Monroe. Could be Mount Vernon. You know, you get one well-placed win, and suddenly you're back in the tournament.
Definitely. We're going to take a break right now and then be set with play-by-play action. Going to be a lot of fun. Two guys been around this area for a while, bringing it to you. Tom Lafferty joining me tonight. I'm Mark Aucutt. We'll be back with more.
Your dreams evolve, and with committed support, they thrive. American Family Insurance.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome to Bickford Ford, Western Washington's premier Ford dealership. We strive to offer you the best in customer care, selection, and price. Our sales, service, and parts departments are highly skilled, experienced, and committed to your satisfaction. Give us the opportunity to take care of you and your family's auto needs, and we're confident you'll come back again and again. That's the reason we've been in business for 4 generations and over 78 years. The Bickford family has served the community since 1934. We support organizations that make a vital difference in the region, including Northwest Harvest, Seattle Children's Hospital, Susan G. Komen for the Cure, and the Snohomish Food Bank. Bickford Ford is in Snohomish, Washington, on 3100 Bickford Avenue, 5 miles east of I-5 in downtown Everett. You can exit onto Bickford Avenue off Highway 2 eastbound or Highway 9.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Aucutt with Tom Lafferty here on STSPN.com. Todd Elbig is here. Also, Nettie Aucutt, our Director of Transportation for STSPN.com tonight, too. So we are happy to bring you this one, and one of many coming your direction. Tom, just the feel of this room right now is electric. It's what we love. We enjoy this time of year so much.
We do indeed, and in fact, we're only about a week. In fact, exactly a week from tonight will be the opening round of the district tournament. Both the 3As and 4As are getting ready to go. And let's talk about the officials as the ball is about to go up. Todd Weber's got the ball. He's the referee. Alan Bowers and Garrett Galbraith are the officials.
We are underway as the Vikings in their purple uniform with gold numbers and letters win the tip, and they will come into front court. They are going from your right to left on the screen and moving it around. We'll see exactly what kind of tempo they set. Looks like Snohomish is in a 2-3 zone to open things up, Tom.
Yeah, Snohomish will set up in the zone, try to dare Lake Stevens to shoot it from outside or commit the turnover.
And they just did right there. So that's the first turnover of the game. And Snohomish will come quickly out of back court. Mitch Morris handling the ball, passes over on the left side to Jake Sjogren, who averages 11.6 per game. Back to Sjogren, long range, gets it, 3 ball.
He had 7 one night earlier in the season. If he gets hot, Snohomish can be deadly.
That's a big one right there.
If he's not hot, not so much.
A lot of rebounds
That's right.
for somebody down there. Lake Stevens with the basketball and a 3-0 lead for the Snohomish Panthers. Just a little over a minute into the first half here. Thanks for being with us on STSPN.com. Lake Stevens trying to work it inside as the shot clock winding down to 10 seconds now, and they're not able to get it in there. Kavanaugh now goes into the lane, and that would have counted had it fallen. We got 2 shots coming up. Snohomish doing a good job so far of crowding things out in the paint.
They are. They'll try to keep them outside, and again, like I said, they will literally dare. If you guys want to shoot outside, we'll take that all night, but they don't want to get it inside to Pavitt because this is what happens.
Foul is on Perry. Jake Perry's first foul, first team foul. And at the foul line is the player for Lake Stevens. That is Trey Pevitt. He makes the first one, misses the second one, and Snohomish gets the board, comes out of backcourt with the 2-point lead. Again, they go for the 3, gets it. 2 of those. That's Kobe McDaniel as he comes through and does a great job. Also plays and has played quarterback on the football team for Snohomish and had a strong career right there. 6-1, Panthers on top. Tom, they bury a couple of quick threes in the early going here.
They do. That's exactly what they hope to do. If they get hot early on, they will try to bury, but Lake Stevens, see what they do here.
That looked like almost a half-court shot. It was outside the three-point line, an NBA 3 right there. Snohomish boards it and will come out of backcourt. And also what's key is to get those offensive rebounds. So far, Snohomish is getting the job done on the defensive end and moving the ball around. Notice that last night in the girls' game, Snohomish played Mount Vernon. They moved the ball so well, and that fundamentals are happening right here as well, although they missed that shot. Lake into front court. And stifled to some degree and tries to cut through. Not going to happen. Good defense again, and not much help there as he drove through the lane. So it stays at 6-1. Just underway here. First quarter on STSPN.com.
Of course, you live by the 3 and then you die by the 3 too. At some point, they're going to want to work it inside, I would think. I think that's what Len Bone would want.
Lake Stevens has fired a couple of threes, come up empty, like right there. That was Dante Lewis, whose averages almost 12 points a game. And now Snohomish into front court with the 5-point lead. Shut down heading in that time, and Snohomish will get the basketball back for a second. Dante Lewis with a steal, drives the other direction, puts it up and in. He's long. He's got some long arms out there, and it pays off.
And that's just inattention to detail. You don't complete the pass. You look over, they say, oh, I'm going to pass it over there. How about you got to fake it a little bit. You got to keep them guessing a little bit. That time Lewis, easy coast to coast after the steal.
Yeah, these guys have been playing this game for a while, and especially this deep in the year. You don't want to make mistakes like that. That's a good shot for Jake Perry as he gets his first 2 points of the game, and Snohomish has it back up to a 5-point lead at 8-3. Vikings breaking out of backcourt. It's a good-looking shot. He gets it.
Yeah.
Off the assist that time from Lewis, and Bardou burying it. He missed a little bit earlier, but perfect on that release.
And you're talking about quarterbacks. Connor Bardou is the heir apparent now to the quarterback at Lake Stevens after Jacob Eason leaves.
Kind of got big shoes to fill, doesn't he?
A little bit.
Good second effort. Sjogren nails the 2 as he drives to the basket. He's got 5 in the game, and Snohomish up by 4. A little past the midway point of the first quarter. Lake Stevens trying to get inside again, but they just forced outside, not really able to do much. Well, there they go. Let's see if they can make it happen. It works this time around. Pavitt puts it in. He averages 10.2 points per game and 9.9 rebounds per game, and it's a 2-point lead for Snohomish. They got out on top 3-0. Now it's stolen away. A chance for Lake Stevens to get a tie or take the lead with a 3-ball. There's a 2-ball, too far. Kind of quick on that one, and Tom, and
He kind of got hammered as he let go of the basketball, too. So
Snohomish goes the other direction, and big miss right there on the layup by Morris and getting the rebound, the opposite number 24, Bardou. As you knew there was a foul coming there as he got hacked going in. Miss on the shot, and heading to the foul line will be Wyatt Wahlberg, the junior for Lake Stevens.
the other key you want to look at this game is Lake Stevens won the last game when they played on the first time through back on Tuesday, January 12th, won it by 50-47. So tiebreakers come into to play as well, and in this case, Snohomish needs to get the win to have the tie so you can go to the next tiebreaker, and hopefully that goes in your favor when you talk about in or out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Kobe McDaniel called for the foul, his second team foul. First shot was a miss. He misses both of them. So Wahlberg doesn't get the job done on the gimme right there. It could have been tied. Now Snohomish with a chance to extend their lead as they break into front court in their white uniforms with red numbers and letters and black trim. Tom, you've seen a lot of games in this gym, and good crowd on hand to support actually both teams. Lake Stevens usually travels well as
They do. I think the Lake Stevens students are a late arriving crowd tonight.
They think it's Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Vikings with the ball in front court. Once again, a chance to at least tie here on this possession, and they do. Turning around with the jumper is Dante Lewis. He's got 4 points. And we are tied at 10. Tied for the first time in this game. Lake Stevens has not led so far. Good-looking move right there by Jake Perry as he now has 4 points in the game. Soft release.
You know, we've gone almost 3.5 minutes. That's the first whistle in 3.5 minutes. The guy has been sitting down there, number 32 coming in for the Lake Stevens Vikings, Connor Widman. He's been down there for about 3 minutes with no whistle. We're already under 2 minutes to play.
They're coming over to rub his knees out. He's starting to get stiff down there as Connor Widman is making his way in. Also for Snohomish, coming back in, Kobe McDaniel, and also across the way, that will be Peyton Plucker. Tom, you've had a chance to see Snohomish a lot. Does Len rotate these guys quite a bit? Is he feel comfortable to go fairly deep into his bench?
He'll go 3 or 4 deep, and then now we've got an offensive foul here, illegal screen penalty against the Lake Stevens Vikings.
Well, Lake Stevens will pick up their first team foul. Snohomish has 3 of them.
Yeah, Widman just came in, and now he picks up the foul just almost as soon as he steps on the floor. And he's probably the only one now that's been playing, that came in and said, you know, Coach Hines said, go in and play some defense, because no one's been playing defense.
Yeah.
That shows you there hasn't been any whistles for 3 minutes.
Well, he gets the quick call, and Snohomish has the basketball, moving it into front court. Excellent ball movement right there, and nailing the jumper off the left side is Jeffrey Smith from 15 feet out, and Snohomish back to a 4-point lead. 35 seconds on the shot clock in boys basketball at the high school level. 30 for girls basketball. Coverage on STSPN.com. Mark Aucutt, Tom Lafferty, and we got a foul as he went for the reverse and got hooked going to the basket. 2 shots on the way for Trey Pavitt, the junior for Lake Stevens.
Yeah, Pavitt has got the full beard. the full beard look as he goes to the free throw line.
I can't even grow one of those. Not that good. Be a little blotchy. He's got an interesting foul shot.
Yeah, it's almost like a set shot.
Yeah, puts a little jump into it. Makes the first one. He's
it
2
looks
for
like
3
Bob
from line.
Cousy.
You know, that's a good comparison right there. And what's even better is if some people in our audience can remember. We know who he is.
Ask your grandma and grandpa who Bob
That's
Cousy
right.
is.
Total legend for the Celtics.
Oh, they're going to call a travel there. Riley Responte, he thought he got tripped. He did trip, but I think he was traveling as he was going into the Lake Stevens guy's feet, so that's going to be the call, and it's going to be a turnover on Snohomish.
Lake Stevens with the basketball, 1:07 to go in the first quarter. And as you see, a 3-point lead for Snohomish. Handling the basketball coming out of backcourt is Dante Lewis, picked up defensively by Riley Responte. Got a few of the football players on board for Snohomish out here as they play at least 2 sports. And now Lewis gets the basketball, 16 on the shot clock. Lake Stevens still trying to penetrate in there. They've had some difficulty with that, and it doesn't work again as they lose the ball. It's turned over to the Panthers. Here they come the other direction. Snohomish has been moving the ball so well, and they'll continue with that ball movement up high. Getting the basketball, Responte, he finds Sjogren. Boom. 3-pointer for Jake. Jake has hit 2 of them and has 8 points in the game. Snohomish has nailed 3 3-pointers thus far.
4.
Or is it 4?
Yeah. Smith, Sjogren, McDaniel, and Responte have all had a 3.
Okay, then they gave him a 3 on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. On the other end, it is Widman missing, and Snohomish ends up with the rebound. That's going to be the. You get it? No.
No.
It just.
That's a good call.
Was a little bit late. I think so too.
Yeah.
The buzzer went off, and the score at the end of the first quarter is Snohomish 17, and Lake Stevens is 11. 17-11. We'll be back with more second quarter action coming up here on STSPN.com. Snohomish Panthers leading Lake Stevens Vikings. Welcome back here to Snohomish High School, and we get set. It's 3-3. Call back though, because it seemed like there was one that was very close. So 17-11 is our score. Snohomish up by 6 points, their biggest lead of the game. And Tom, this is a playoff type game. That is the atmosphere. These teams know they got to win this, and that's what adds to the element of energy in the room.
Steve Willett from the Sound Life Sports Network is here, and he says it's 3 3-pointers. That means it's 3-3. That's 4 there, though. So eventually I was going to be right.
As you always are. That's our rule.
That was
a 2-pointer.
That was a 2.
All right.
Darn it.
But who got it? Because we were looking down towards Steve there. Steve, did you check and see who got that for him?
We'll get that.
We'll get that from our official person. Do you know who? No, 2 points on that one. So it's 19-11.
Smith.
Nonetheless, it is an 8-point lead for Snohomish, which is their biggest lead of the game.
Now, I told you I'd be at the game, but I didn't say I would pay attention. There's a whole difference there.
With the ball is Lewis. Vikings down by 8 points, and Snohomish just gradually building that lead up here in the first half. Now 9 seconds on the shot clock, and Snohomish doing a great job continuously of clogging up the lane. A deflection, they get another steal. That's 5 turnovers. Here he goes, the other direction. And that was a sweet-looking shot from Sjogren. We got a timeout, Lake Stevens. 10 points for Sjogren, and I believe we'll take a timeout as well right here on your home for local high school and college sports, STSPN.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back. 10-point lead for the Snohomish Panthers. 21-11 is the score. Sjogren getting that basket. Then Lake Stevens said, geez, we're down by 10. This isn't working well. We need to talk things over. They move it very well. Nailing the three ball is Ryder Kavanaugh. A great pass right to him. So Lake Stevens shows some life right there. That's their first points of the second quarter. And Snohomish will try to add what they have. It's not going to happen. Picked off, though, by Dante Lewis. And here come the Vikings in their purple uniforms the other direction. Getting it is Pavitt in the lane.
I think that, yeah. They're gonna,
offensive.
You know, in the officials, what I want to say, in his defense, I was going to say, you know, he put up the arm, Pavitt did, to make space, and the official looked like, well, he didn't get an advantage, and so he wasn't going to call it. But then he pushed it a little bit harder, and he gained the advantage, and that's what you're going to, you know, sometimes a late whistle means it's a late whistle. That's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
And you watch a lot of Pac-12 games down at Heck Ed, sometimes there's a late whistle.
Sometimes there are, and sometimes.
As long as it's the right whistle.
That's exactly what I was going to say. A traveling call against Snohomish, their fourth turnover. That is exactly it. If it comes a little bit late, but it's the right call, and it's also similar to what we see with the Aqua Sox, Pat Castro, he'll wait to make sure it's the right call before that is done, and it's important.
Well, and to me, talking about baseball, it's when the home plate umpire, here he comes, here comes the throw, here comes the guy. You wait, and then you look and make sure, are you going to drop the ball? No. Okay, then you're out.
That's it.
Or, hey, he dropped the ball. So
basket is good. So 21-16, they've cut that 10-point deficit in half. We're about 2.5 minutes coming up on that into the second quarter. Snohomish trying to pick up the victory to stay alive to get to the district playoffs. And again, this year, 6 teams going. The first 2 have a bye in the first round. And
it's going to be interesting for the first time in a long, long time. Jackson not in those top 2 right now. They still have a chance to do it with games this week and then the beginning of next week to get back into one of those top 2 spots. But Cascade's running away with it and already ranked fairly high, about 4th in the state now, Cascade is.
Excellent effort by Morris down on the right side as he stayed with it, and he had a couple men right there on him, but he still wanted that basket and closed it perfectly. Three-pointer for Dante Lewis. He's got 7 points in the game, and it's a 4-point lead for Snohomish. I want to make sure we have that right. With the basketball, Panthers in front court. Our scoreboard shows 23-19 here in the gym. And count the basket right there. That one is good for Mitch Morris, and he's got a foul shot coming up.
Yeah, it seems like Snohomish, I thought, maybe has one more basket. Just unless I'm having one of my blackout spells again.
It was 21-16, and then they hit one, and then the 3-point. I think it's. We'll let them see what they sort out. He misses the foul shot, and with 4:30 to go in the second quarter, 6-point lead for Snohomish. Lake Stevens bringing it forward here on senior night at Snohomish High School. Lewis, 3-ball again, and a good feed as he's got 2 of those. And I have Lake Stevens for 4 3-pointers, 1 by Kavanaugh, 2 by Lewis, and 1 by Bardu.
Yeah, this may just shoot into a 3-point NBA 3-point contest rather than actual basketball.
Could be the case, yeah. Well, because we're not, especially for Lake Stevens, not seeing much inside. Snohomish with the ball, 17 on the shot clock. They're going to try inside, and it works.
Yeah, they go down to McDaniel there. He set up with the low block, and then he just kind of begged for the ball, and that was a nice, just a little soft toss, just kind of a 9-iron. He just lofted it in there, loft wedge.
Tristan McGregor. So McGregor, that's a golf brand, too.
Yes, there you go.
And got the pass into him to give Snohomish the 5-point lead at 27-22 here in first half action. And that one's thrown into a jungle. It's going to be taken away. Snohomish gets it. McDaniel going.
Oh, they're going to get a
Inside,
blocking foul.
Yeah, right in the paint.
Yeah, before anything happens, so no shot out there.
We have both teams up to 4 team fouls now. And that foul is indicated against Wyatt Wahlberg. That's his second foul. No shots on this one. They still have a little ways to go to get to the bonus. A little hard off the glass that time, but Sjogren, but he helps keep it alive for the Panthers. Traveling is called, and 5 turnovers against Snohomish with 3:13 left here in the quarter.
And that's what we've seen with Snohomish most of the year. You'll look up and they're up by 10 points, they're up by 12 points, they'll go on a real great run. And then, what I said earlier, that inattention to detail.
Yeah.
You drag the pivot foot, you throw a sloppy pass, and suddenly you just leave the door open. Lake Stevens is good enough, they're good enough athletes, they're going to come down and they're going to take advantage of that if you commit the turnover.
Yeah, and you get this deep into the season, and as good as these teams get and as hungry as they are, you just can't make those type of mistakes. And sometimes teams or players, when they get a lead, they'll have mental lapses, and they just need to take it to that next level and take a 10-point lead to 15 or 20. Now, the foul against Snohomish is Peyton Plucker. That is his second foul, 15th foul. And at the foul line is Pavitt, makes the first foul shot. He is 3 for 5 from the line and has a total of 5 points in the contest.
Lake Stevens lost 3 in a row coming into this one, dropping games to Cascade, Jackson, and Monroe. In fact, they've lost 5 of their last 6 coming into the game tonight here at Snohomish. Now we've got a lane violation.
Well, that hurts Lake Stevens and helps Snohomish as they will bring it out of backcourt. 3 minutes exactly left here in the second quarter. Snohomish up by the 4 points on STSPN.com. Open on the left side and having it rim out is Kobe McDaniel. Lake Stevens, great opportunity right here to close that gap. Snohomish pesky all night with the hands, the arms, getting in there, causing turnovers. This time it's knocked out of bounds, but no matter what, it's still good hustle.
I'm guessing watching the tape, Coach Len Bone says we're going to stick right in number 2. That's Ryder Kavanaugh, right in his pocket because he can shoot.
Dante Lewis misses on the 3 ball. He hit a couple in a row earlier. Getting the rebound and having it stripped away is Connor Woodman. Here comes the Panthers out of backcourt. Unselfish move there as McGregor gave it to Bride, but sometimes you got to stay with it, right?
I was just going to say, there's unselfish and then there's one pass too many. That may have been, it's going to work out here for Snohomish. They put Cole Bride, and I really think Cole Bride is kind of the heart and soul of Snohomish. He just sticks his nose in everybody else's business on the other team and really works very, very hard. Of course, he fouls out a few times too, but I'm supposed to say it, I think he's the hardest worker out there. If you watch
he makes the first foul shot, and the foul was against Connor Woodman, his second. Both teams with 5 team fouls. And it kind of looks from the Snohomish girls' side like Shaylee Harwood. She's very similar to that. We were talking about that last night, and you love players like that. So a 6-point lead for Snohomish, 2:15 left to go in the second quarter. Lake Stevens has responded a little bit with the 3 balls here in this second quarter. They've hit 3 of them. In fact, those account for all of their field goals. And the shot coming. That's going to rim out. And a push-off on the rebound. It'll be a foul against Lake Stevens down low as the Panthers will get it, and that just takes the foul total up a little bit higher. That one is going to be whistled against E.J. Heber. Heber with his first foul, 16.
Heber and Pavitt are kind of the, remember the twin Winnebago lineup. Who had that one? Was that Houston? No, they had the Twin Towers.
They had the Twin Towers. Oh, the Winnebago. We got to think about that one.
Yeah.
Shot on the way. Follow-up, good hustle right there by Sjogren. Sjogren's had a strong half offensively with 10 points. Snohomish hanging on to the 6-point lead. Lake Stevens with a long shot by Ryder Kavanaugh, way off the mark. And the Panthers take it the other direction. No doubt about that one. Sjogren picks up another 2. And he now has 12 points. He's already over his average for the season of 11.6 points per game. Now, in conference play, Snohomish averages 4.2 points per game, and the average given up 61.3, so a differential of minus 7.1, and we have a foul on the other end. Overall, an average of 52.4 and giving up 60.3, pretty similar, and that's a differential of minus 7.9. A foul is indicated against Snohomish's Cole Bride. That's his first.
But, that's a good foul. It's only his first foul. There's still a minute 11 to play here in the half. And that just sends a little message like, we're just not going to let Trey Pavitt go underneath the basket.
Pavitt
had to wind up his spring for the way
he does it.
Yep.
7 points in this game has been points. But Lake Stevens not going to go away. 1 minute to go in the second quarter. Shot from the outside, no good, and the Vikings will get the rebound. Coming up tomorrow night on STSPN.com, Kamiak Knights at the Jackson Timberwolves, 7:15 starting time. That's another real good one. Vikings with the ball in front court, 19 on the shot clock. Lewis wide open. No problem.
You cannot leave Dante
No.
Lewis wide open like that. Somebody lost an assignment there because you got to stick with him and Kavanaugh because they'll bury him all night long.
Yeah, he had about 5 or 6 feet between himself and the next defender as we have no time on the shot clock and 20 seconds on the quarter clock. Snohomish with the basketball in front court. Lewis has 9 points in the quarter, 13 in the game. He's hit 3 3-pointers. And the Panthers getting set to move it into action. They do. Driving into the basket is Sandifer. Kyle Sandifer has it swatted out of there. And here comes Lake Stevens the other direction. Lewis, offensive. That'll be his first foul and the 7th team foul. No shots, though, Tom.
You talk about, you watch a lot of NCAA basketball. That call doesn't get made in NCAA because you got the restricted area under there.
Circle, the half circle, the semicircle.
They would not call a charge there. That would be a block.
I wonder if that might come to the high school game at some point.
I'm guessing within the next year or so, we're going to see the restricted area underneath, and we're going to see boys basketball will go to a 30-second. That's the state of Washington.
I think you're absolutely right.
That's the state of Washington.
Yeah. And the other thing that I would like to see and hope does come for college basketball is that the men also go to the quarters. I have absolutely loved with doing PA for the Huskies and also SPU a little bit is the 4 quarters this year.
Yeah.
It's just been fabulous.
Yeah.
4-point lead, and they had 1 second as they inbounded. The clock will wind.
Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a cleaning specialist.
Your dreams evolve, and with committed support, they thrive. American Family Insurance.
I did is I was asking if you had. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Snohomish High School. I'm Mark Aucutt with Tom Lafferty. Tom, the longtime sports director of highlights. 31-27 Snohomish leading in boys basketball over Lake Stevens. We'll look at some highlights from the first half as Tom, Snohomish red hot to get things going from the three-point area with Jake Sjogren connecting on that first one.
Yeah, you connected the first one, and that makes you hot. And we're watching, as you watch the highlights from before, from the first half, and you also watch when they're warming up for the second half, they're working on the outside shots. This, I think, is going to be just a shooting festival. Who's going to win it from outside?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Snohomish has been doing a great job, at least in the first quarter, making that happen. And then in the second quarter, Lake Stevens coming through, and one of the players, that guy right there. Now that's an inside shot, but he hit some three-pointers that we'll see coming up here. And Snohomish moving the ball around very well, getting some position inside, and kind of their inside-outside game working around. There's that interesting foul shot by Trey Pavitt. And
it may come down to that. It may come down to if Lake Stevens can turn it around and start pounding it downstairs into the low block to Pavitt, and he can come through. They could win this ball game, but they'd have to stay with it consistently. They'd have to work it.
Saw Ryder Kavanaugh hit a couple of three-pointer, and then he had a nice teardrop right in the lane right there. And Dante Lewis, look at these three balls by him. Just red hot as he came through with three of them in that second quarter. Really kept Lake Stevens in the game. Again, the foul shots important. Trey Pavitt 4 for 8 from the foul line. They're 4 for 10 overall, and there's Snohomish on the other side. 2 for 3 from the foul line. Cole Bride hitting those two. You see Pavitt right here. And this is Lewis's third three ball. How about that? Got a nice left-handed shot. And Snohomish warming up here. And we appreciate our halftime sponsorship by Action Jackson Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. 425-877-5601. How could you not go that direction if you have a perfect plumbing or drain cleaning problem? Action Jackson will get it done for you. And we thank them and all of our sponsors on STSPN for taking good care of us throughout the seasons.
We should talk about the officials again. Garrett Galbraith, Alan Bowers. Todd Weber is the referee. He's got the basketball on the far side, and he's saying, hey, let's get the band out of here as they go up to the concession stand. Let's play some basketball here in the second half.
Band's got to take a break. Great band. It is so fun. I thought they might be here last night for the girls' game, but well, you sure know when they start playing early on. And Lake Stevens gets started, and they're as much as 10 points at 22. Close on the shot, but no. And that's going to be Mitch Morris pulling down the rebound. He's going to Montana State University after his time at a three ball by Jake Sjogren, and it's just exactly how first quarter started. He's got 3 3-pointers in the game and 15 points.
We talked about it during our radio broadcast. My partner Bill Kusler, like he said, during his basketball career, he had success with that grab the rebound, go right back up for a 6-footer.
Yep.
You either kick it way back out for a 3-ball, or you go.
We have a foul coming up against the Panthers.
In a row when they went into the district.
Enough to catch up to Ryder Kavanaugh, who now has 7 points in the game. Make that 8, because that is a 3-point. Into front court now, and Lake Stevens defensively off the pass from Wahlberg. He's got 8 points. And it's back to a 4-point Snohomish lead. Panthers coming into front court. It's every time Lake Stevens gets to about this point, Snohomish seems to find a way to hit a big shot and extend it back out. That's the hardest part of playing from behind.
Well,
3 tries.
Third time's a charm is what they say for Mitch Morris.
Morris gets it done. He averages 10.6 per game and has 4 in the quarter, and it's a 6-point lead for the Snohomish Panthers. Near steal. Lake Stevens trying to make it happen off the overplay, and they do.
See?
Got a player out of position. Dante Lewis hits another 3-ball. He's hit 4 of those now.
Yeah, he was wide open in the corner. Now, Perry was late getting there, but I'm not sure that was Perry's man. I think he just kind of dropped down there saying, uh-oh, number 15 is wide open.
Yeah. And it's just sometimes like Lewis, it can pop him in so easily. Sjogren gets points Snohomish lead. We have a timeout coming your way. Score, Snohomish 40 and Lake Stevens 35 right here on STSPN.com. Snohomish. Welcome back. Leading by 5 points here in the third quarter on STSPN.com. Now taking a look at what we have coming up tomorrow, Friday, February 5th, boys basketball, 3A, Kamiak Knights at the Jackson Timberwolves, 7:15 starting time. And then on Monday, a simulcast with Fox Sports 1380.
Yeah, well, that's what I mentioned. That whole play was facilitated by the hard play of Cole Bride, who blocked the shot going in, kept the ball alive. He didn't get – there's no stat for it, keeping the ball alive so somebody else can get a rebound, but that's exactly what he did.
Driving to the hoop, missing is McDaniel. Fights for it, and just with his hustle, creates it to where Snohomish will end up keeping the basketball. It was last touched by Lake Stevens, and Snohomish will inbound on the right baseline. It's Jake Sjogren. Sjogren now has 17 points in the game, and he leads all scorers. Right behind him, Dante Lewis of Lake Stevens with 16. A miss on the right side by McDaniel, who's playing with 5 points in the game. And Lake Stevens again with an opportunity to close that gap. Not going to happen. Kind of forced it rather quickly. That's Wyatt Wahlberg, the junior, for the Vikings. Here comes Snohomish out of backcourt. Had to alter his shot. Staying with it a couple of times, knocked out of bounds, and that's going to be Lake Stevens' ball.
Tell you, Morris works hard. He went in, missed the lay-in, got his own rebound, although he was surrounded by nothing but purple shirts. I didn't see a white shirt going in and trying to join the party. Let's just let Mitch do that down there, do the dirty work.
Let him take care of it.
Yeah.
Lake Stevens will bring it up, and down by 5 is they still have a good opportunity to cut it to 2 or 3. Wanted to do it all that time, and almost making that shot is Ryder Kavanaugh. He's got 8 points. Going to go to the line with a couple of shots here, even though that one did not fall. That's a foul on Kobe McDaniel.
You know, talking about that Snohomish-Monroe girls game on Monday night here on STSPN. Snohomish at 12-0 on the girls' side, 15-3 overall. Monroe 11-1 and 14-4. Snohomish won the first battle between the two, and this will really be for the Wesco 4A championship.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and we're looking forward to that, to simulcast on STSPN.com with Fox Sports 1380. Definitely going to be a lot of people here and viewing and listening and excitement for sure as a shot is made. So he hits both of them, and it's 40-37. Kavanaugh now with 10 points in the game, and Snohomish sees that lead getting down to 3 points. Almost a steal there, and because of the hustle, he caused the steal. Here comes Lake Stevens out of backcourt. That dribble allowed. It didn't look right. We got a foul. That's coming up against Snohomish, and it will be called against Cole Bride, which would be his second foul. Boy, that was kind of ugly coming out of backcourt, and then with the way he was handling it.
Well, it started being ugly with the way Snohomish was handling the basketball in front court.
Yeah.
And so Lake Stevens gets the turnover. They get the steal. Then they go down, and probably just the fact that there was a little bit of a travel there, but it just wasn't in the spot where the official was going to make that call. It looked weird, but was it a travel? Hard to say.
3-point basket. Ryder Kavanaugh connects again, and he has three balls. Guess what? We are tied at 40. Tied for the second time. I'll say again, Lake Stevens has not led in this game. Snohomish has led, or it's been tied throughout. Panthers with the basketball in front court now. Good follow-up right there on the left side is Cole Bride. Didn't he get it to fall?
No.
Oh, it did. I thought it swirled out.
It went deep in, and then pulling up by Vanero Wright.
Yeah, there you go. Boy, that one was in, and it just did not want to be there.
Yeah, you should get 1 point just for how far that went.
I know, that went in.
It kicked back out, though.
Snohomish with 3 team fouls and none against Lake Stevens so far. That definitely can play a factor as we get deeper into this game. Now let's see if Cole Bride makes it happen this time. He was bound and determined to get it to fall that time, and he got it done. Coming over from the left side, using the left hand. He gets the 2 points and is fouled.
Yeah, Cole Bride, like I said before, he works. He works and works and works, and that time I think he was not going to be denied as he got the basketball and said, I'm going to the hoop, and I'm going to get a 3-point play, and there he did.
Cole Bride completes the 3-point play. He now has 8 points in the game, make that 7, and he's a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. Snohomish back to a 3-point lead. Dante Lewis going down low. Connor Widman. 17 on the shot clock. Lake Stevens finding Pavitt. Woodman again. Now he goes to Bremner. They just got shut out in there. And somehow keep it alive. 5 on the shot clock. Dante Lewis traveling.
Yeah, he also got kind of whacked in the side of the head, too, as he was traveling. But those long legs, one went one way and one went the other way, and he just dragged the pivot foot and commits the turnover.
Markel McFerrin will check into the game for Lake Stevens, replacing Connor Woodman. 1:30 left in the third quarter. And the score, Snohomish 43, Lake Stevens 40. Both teams playing to stay alive for district playoff hopes. Top 6 teams make it out of the 8 in Wesco 4A. And Tom, next year, realignment for Wesco 4A, 3A, and then the new 2A alignment for some teams around the area. There's a travel call against Snohomish.
And actually, the 2A did not pass.
Oh.
As Granite Falls lost their appeal to go to 1A, and that would have really triggered into that 2A, 3A, 4A, everybody playing each other.
Yeah.
But with Granite Falls not losing their appeal to the WIAA, the rest of the Cascade Conference athletic directors, really in solidarity with Granite Falls, said, well, we're going to stick together with the Cascade Conference. We'll stay as a mixed league.
There you go.
And because that was going to combine with the Northwest Conference.
Yeah, because you
had in the 3A, because Ferndale and Squalicum are 3A. They'll come down in football only and play in the Wesco 3A. Snohomish goes to 3A.
There's a big three-pointer from Logan Bremner. Tied up 43 apiece. So it remains the Cascade Conference
yes.
then.
Yep. And that was only going to be in football anyway.
Yeah, okay. In front court, Snohomish with the basketball. We are tied at 43. Can they break it? Not on that shot. Getting the rebound is McGregor.
Nice
turnaround
rebound.
Jumper. Wow. Gets it done. And a two-pointer for McGregor. His first 2 points of the game. And Snohomish back by 2. Leading by 2. Shot clock is dead. And Lake Stevens will play for the one shot here, coming up on 10 seconds to go in the third quarter at high school. Basketball now is stolen. He goes. Lewis is going to have a foul right by the Lake Stevens bench. That one's on the floor. Snohomish whistled for the foul. That'll be on Jake Sjogren. That's his first. 4th team foul. Lewis will inbound.
Yeah, I don't think he was shooting. I think he was arguing that point, but he was going to lose the argument.
Lewis will inbound. And that's the end of the quarter. Air ball at the very end, and Snohomish will have a 2-point lead to take into the fourth quarter. 45-43. We've got a good one for you here on STSPN.com. Mark Aucutt, Tom Lafferty will be back with the fourth quarter of Western Conference boys basketball.
Welcome to Bickford Ford, Western Washington's premier Ford dealership. We strive to offer you the best in customer care, selection, and price. Our sales, service, and parts departments are highly skilled, experienced, and committed to your satisfaction. Give us the opportunity to take care of you and your family's auto needs, and we're confident you'll come back again and again. That's the reason we've been in business for 4 generations and over 78 years. The Bickford family has served the community since 1934. We support organizations that make a vital difference in the region, including Northwest Harvest, Seattle Children's Hospital, Susan G. Komen for the Cure, and the Snohomish Food Bank. Bickford Ford is in Snohomish, Washington, on 3100 Bickford Avenue, 5 miles east of I-5 in downtown.
Snohomish High School. Here at Snohomish High School, Mark Aucutt, Tom Lafferty, Todd Elvig, and Steve Willits here, bringing you the broadcast on Fox Sports 1380. And down low with the basket is Trey Pavitt. He puts it in and now has 10 points. We are tied at 45, tied for the 4th time, Tom. And again, Lake Stevens has not been able to take the lead, but it's anybody's ball game right now.
It's still anybody's ball game, and Lake Stevens has fought back, and then Snohomish kind of makes a little space, but the Panthers haven't been able to take that 5, 6, 7-point lead and double it up and get it into double figures once at 10 points, but they haven't been able to put Lake Stevens away. Lake Stevens said they'll have none of it.
Markel McFerrin called for the foul. That's his first second team foul. No shots. Snohomish will inbound. Lewis tried to get the steal. Now Snohomish, a little bit of an edge as they go inside. That one's knocked out of bounds and last touched by Lake Stevens barely. Snohomish will keep it tied at 45. Snohomish with 4 team fouls. Again, Lake Stevens with 2. Lake Stevens coming in at 4 and 8, 8 and 11 overall. Panthers lots of time on the shot clock. Taking it in. Nice little move right there by Mitch Morris. What do you think, he's Calvin Murphy or something? 47-45. And Lake Stevens now with about a minute into the fourth quarter will try to make something happen on their end. Good job on the rebound that time by McFerrin. He stays with it and puts the ball in for 2 to tie it up again.
Yeah, he kind of toughened up. He toughened up there, and he said, I'm going to get the rebound. Then he did the smart thing and went right back up with the rock and put it in and tied the score.
It's interesting. Some guys, they get to a point where they do toughen up and say, this time I'm taking it myself, like we saw Bride do a little bit earlier.
Yep.
Oh, that was beautiful. Just watching it.
Yeah,
Riley Responte.
Yeah, Dante Lewis, he was just out of gas there, and then that will bring Mark Hine off the bench to call a timeout for the Lake Stevens Vikings.
Snohomish leads 49-47 here on STSPN.com. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on STSPN.com. Mark Aucutt along with Tom Lafferty, Todd Elvig, Nettie Aucutt, and Steve Willits here, bringing you the action. We got many more coming your way, and this one not decided. Lake Stevens on top Snohomish on top by 2 points, 49-47. Lake Stevens has not led this game. It's been tied 5 times. Turnaround shot. Oh, tough miss that time for Pavitt.
Yeah, that's a couple of hook shots there by Pavitt that have not gone down, but they're going to get the Snohomish Panthers for the foul coming in off of the rebound, and so Lake Stevens will retain possession. They'll get a fresh 35.
Foul is going to be, we have McGregor as 44. That's going to be the 5th team foul, his first. And Lake Stevens, once again, has a chance to tie or take the lead in their purple uniforms on the matchup there. Pavitt with the basketball. Kicks one out over on the left side to Bremner. And now Lake Stevens will set up again. 18 on the shot clock. Pavitt not going to get that to fall. Follows with his own shot there off the rebound. And they moved it around nicely. Finally go inside deeper. And Pavitt gets it done. He wanted that one bad too and ends up finally getting it on the right side where he started out on the left side.
Yeah, he's not afraid to use his body. Backed in, and then use it a couple times also grabbing offensive rebounds.
Pavitt comes in at 6'4", and he's got a nice, strong build in there.
Now, this last, Markel picks up the foul here. That's in hockey, that's hooking. That's a 2-minute minor right there. That's a hook.
3 team fouls called against Lake Stevens. That one is on Markel McFerrin. McFerrin with the indication, and saw him come in last corner. Snohomish making a couple of substitutions, coming in to the game once again. Kobe McDaniel tied at 49, 5:31. That ball almost went into backcourt and saved by the Panthers. Up top, Sjogren. Not quite enough on that one, and Pavitt quickly gets the rebound. Here comes Lake Stevens out of backcourt. It's Dante Lewis. Over on the left side, 3-ball. Ryder Kavanaugh.
Been saying it all night.
Yeah.
You leave him open, and he will drain those all night long. You have to put a hand right in his grill.
Well, the lead switches hands for the very first time tonight. Lake Stevens up by 3 points, so obviously their biggest lead of the game. Snohomish is led by as much as 10, but it's who's leading when the final buzzer goes off that counts. These two teams met the first time. It went to overtime, and Lake Stevens picked up the victory.
McFerrin's going to be called for that hand check foul there. Picks
That's
up
his third foul.
Yeah.
He's picked up a couple here in short order. Snohomish firing a 3-ball, and again, don't live by that too much. Doesn't work out. We do have a foul on the rebound. It's going to go against Lake Stevens as they're starting to stack up some fouls now. That's Ryder Kavanaugh getting called for the foul. It will be his first foul, 15th foul. We are even in that department. To the basket is Bride. Tom Bride has had a strong second half with 7 points. And overall, he has a total of 9.
I just like the way he works. He just works and works when he's out there.
Certainly a help for the Panthers. Lake Stevens with the ball. Swatted away. Good defense. Big hands there by Sjogren. He moves it out of backcourt, and there's Bride once again. Sjogren has come through with a total of 17 points. No points so far in this quarter, though. Vikings doing a good job of keeping Snohomish outside. Miss on that one, and after the rebound is Pavitt. He's been stacking those up. Outlet pass goes to Lewis, and we got a full timeout called by Lake Stevens. 4:04 left to go in the fourth quarter. In a close one here, it is Lake Stevens leading Snohomish 52-51 here on STSPN.com. Western Conference.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back. We are here at Snohomish High School. 4:04 left to go in the fourth quarter. Tom Lafferty is joining me tonight here on STSPN.com. And this is our second game in a row here at Snohomish High School. We were here last night in a one-sided game. Girls basketball, Snohomish with a big win over Mount Vernon, 66-26. Snohomish has now won 15 games in a row. All right, with the basketball, Lake Stevens Vikings will bring it out of backcourt. There's Dante Lewis over on the left side. Good pass, good shot. He had Bardu sitting right there. Bardu launches a 3-ball, puts it away. He's got 6 points, all from three-point land, and it's a 4-point lead for Lake Stevens, their biggest. Snohomish out of backcourt, and they nearly lose it. Is it going to be a jump ball? It is. That's going to stay with Snohomish.
To me, that's another example, and I said it in the first half. In attention to detail, I'm not sure that's the pass that they need to try to make down into that much traffic. Work the ball to the other side and come in from the side door. You don't need to try to bust down the front door.
That's right. You got plenty of time on the shot clock. There's 23 right now. Don't push it. Snohomish down by the 4 points, inbound, and Lewis getting worked on right there. Oh, great block from behind by Pavitt.
Yeah.
He read that one perfectly, and the Panther did not see him or feel him behind him. And it will be Snohomish ball, but still, that's making a statement.
Yeah, Morris was working his way down there. He did not see that runaway truck coming in from the backside. That was more like a crane that came in.
Yeah, it found the on-ramp real quick. Snohomish, again, trying to get back on board here and there's another block by Pavitt. Pavitt is sensational, being in the right place at the right time and getting in the air. He's a force coming at you. Offensively, 12 points and 2 huge blocks right here. That took 15 seconds off the clock. Snohomish now down to 8 seconds on the shot clock. And a steal. Near steal. He stepped out of bounds. But still, good hustle by Dante Lewis.
So they'll reset the shot clock. Todd Weber saying he did have possession when he carried it out of bounds, so that'll reset the 35-second shot clock.
Back to 35 for Snohomish. They will inbound on the lower left of your screen in the white uniforms. Lake Stevens Vikings in their purple. On the left side, Kobe McDaniel, too strong off the rim. Dante Lewis going for the rebound. We have a tie-up, and that should go to Lake Stevens. It will.
Yeah, Dante Lewis, he kind of started to just swing around, and I thought maybe he'd be called for the swing in the elbows violation, a foul, but they didn't. They decided to call a held ball, so that'll turn it over now to Lake Stevens, up by 4.
Yeah, Vikings have the 4-point lead, and now they can work the clock to their advantage. Go for the right shot. Is that it? Not going to fall for them, and they weren't able to get the rebound. We have a push-off, and that's how the game can go in a completely different direction, is they had an opportunity and kind of rushed that shot. They didn't need to take it as soon as they did. And now another foul. That is going to be against Logan Bremner, his first, 6th team foul. And that's the type of thing the good teams have to watch out for, that they don't look for that shot too early when you've got a chance to pad the lead and run some time off the shot clock and quarter clock.
Right, inside 3 minutes to go. Use some time. You got the lead.
That's going out of bounds. Last touch by Lake Stevens. Tom, one thing that stands out, and Lake Stevens committed a number of turnovers in the first half, but Lake Stevens has really been all over the place defensively here in this second half with their long arms and just right up in Snohomish. Snohomish having a little trouble as compared to what they were doing in the first half. Look at he almost had that one again.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a basket. 55-53. Lake Stevens up by 2 points here in the fourth quarter. Bardu now taking it is Kavanaugh. Soft touch with the right hand.
Nicely done by Kavanaugh. He's known as a three-point shooter outside, but that time he saw Lane down through the paint, and he said, I'm just going to take it in, and teardrops it in, and it's a 4-point lead again for Lake Stevens.
He's now tied Dante Lewis for the team lead in points with 16 for Lake Stevens. We have a foul on the other end, a whistle, and 1:58 left on the clock here. That's going to be on Lewis, his second, 7th team foul, and now those start to play a factor and mix into the equation. At the foul line is Mitch Morris. 0 for 1 from the line so far in the game, make it 0 for 2, and Pavitt is right there. Lake Stevens up by 4 points, and again, here's an opportunity for them to work some time off the clock and try to add to it with getting the right shot, getting into good position. They got a man on the left side. That's nearly thrown in. There's that lack of attention to detail, too. He kind of soft lobbed that one over there.
Right.
Kavanaugh with the basketball. Takes it in.
Now that's a good possession.
The foul.
That's Perfect. A good possession by Lake Stevens. They brought it all the way down to single digits on the shot clock, which means brought it all the way down to just a minute and a half left to go in the game. A 4-point lead, and they drew the foul, and Kavanaugh, who's just deadly shooting at the free throw line.
Kavanaugh 2 for 2 at the line so far tonight, and he goes 2 for 3 after Tom jinxes him.
Thank you.
And team foul number 6 against Snohomish. It is against Kobe McDaniel, his 4th. Peyton Plucker has 3 fouls for Snohomish. Lake Stevens has a couple players with 2. Morris connects on the foul shot. He's got 13 points in the game. Lake Stevens with a 5-point lead, their biggest lead of the game, at 58-53 with 1:24 left in the fourth quarter. If Snohomish loses, their district playoff hopes are dashed. To the hoop. Not going to work out. Lake Stevens with a big board right there. And this is a key possession. They can make this a 3-possession game, in fact, if they make the basket. 1 minute left to go in the fourth quarter here at Snohomish High School on senior night for the Panthers. There's a foul.
Yeah, they had to take a foul. They have to get the clock stopped. Cole Bryant,
1 and 1.
Todd Weber doesn't like to be talked back to. We saw him on Tuesday night at Arlington, and he just told Cole Bride, "You've been warned."
Bride called for his 3rd foul. Should be 3 up there. And that is team foul number 7. Miss on the foul shot. Lake Stevens getting after the ball and get the rebound. Connor Bardu was at the foul line with a 1 and 1. Pressure defense up near midcourt, and now finally a foul. That would be on Bryden. He best not say anything this time around.
Yeah. Well, he was going for the foul that time. Yeah.
It is on Bryde's foul.
Yeah.
Foul, yeah. We'll go with 3. At the foul line is Dante Lewis. Lewis makes the foul shot. That's his first trip to the foul line. We'll have the selection of the player of the game coming up here as soon as we wrap. It's a 6-point lead for Lake Stevens. Lewis misses the second one. Kind of been the story for them tonight. And we got another foul as that one came off the rim, and boy, this is a backbreaker right here. That's going to go against Snohomish and take them to 9 team fouls. Cole Bryde with his 4th foul. He's been racking them up real quick here. 3 in about the last minute, if that. Trey Pavitt at the foul line. He has 12 points, make it 13. 5 of those from the foul line. He usually goes 1 for 2, so a miss is scheduled right here. Let's see if he proves us wrong. No, he gets it. Well, he does prove us wrong. Me wrong. 61-53, an 8-point lead. Snohomish's biggest lead was 10, but Lake Stevens up by this amount deep into the game with 38 seconds left. There's a shot right side, no. And again, Tom, you were talking early, living by the 3 ball, and it hasn't worked out well for Snohomish here in the second half. They just hit 1 of them.
Yeah, they get a steal here. Now you've got to hit a 3. It's got to go in, but the putback will work. So
McDaniel gets it done. And we have a timeout called, a full timeout by the Snohomish Panthers. They trail 61-55. And we'll take a break right here on STSPN.com. More on the way.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back to Snohomish High School. And our score is 61-55. We're getting on top of this as far as whether Snohomish is truly eliminated with a loss here tonight. And Tom, digging in a little deeper than this, they actually would still be alive, wouldn't they?
Right. It depends on what Monroe does. Monroe, who's playing Mount Vernon tonight, and so Snohomish and Monroe play each other.
And Monroe beat Snohomish the first time.
No,
Snohomish
beat
won
Monroe.
that one. That's right. So here we go on the other end. It's Snohomish. And it goes out of bounds. So Snohomish beat Monroe the very first time by a score of 62-56. Yeah, because you got to look at tiebreaker situation.
Right. And so let's keep it here during the timeout. Cascade, Kamiak, and Jackson are going to play for the top 3 spots. Cascade's taking the top spot. Kamiak and Jackson will get 2 or 3. 2 means you get a first round bye. So let's just say Jackson stays where they are now at 9-3. They'll be 3. Mariner at 5-7 at 4. Lake Stevens now with a win.
Yeah, that's 3A, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh, no, I get it. Okay, that's right. That's 4A.
Yeah, 4A. So Mariner, depending on what they're doing, but Lake Stevens with a win tonight. Lake Stevens was 4-8 coming in. They'll be 5-8. So they go to the number 4 spot. So Snohomish with a loss tonight goes to 3-10.
Yeah.
Monroe is playing Mount Vernon. You're going to assume that Monroe wins. They go to 4-10.
4-9.
4-9. 4-9. Mount Vernon will drop to 2-11, and they'll be out of it.
But Snohomish, if they win on Tuesday, would also be 4-10. That would make Monroe 4-10. Therefore, and Snohomish would have won twice, so they're still alive.
So they're still alive. Yeah. If they win, figuring they're going to lose tonight, they can. Yeah, so they are still alive. Now, it would have been an easier road had they won the ball game tonight.
Yeah,
they
that's
had
true.
the lead. But
that would have, as we said earlier, kept their playoff chances alive. And the foul, or made it a lot easier for him, as the foul was on Mitch Morris, his first. That's the 10th team foul against the Snohomish Panthers.
And you want to get, Lake Stevens now still with a chance to make it into the 3 and 4 will host in the opening round. So
that's another factor that comes into play.
yeah, but at this point in the season, you want to make it in first before we worry about hosting.
That's right. 62-55 is our final score. And Lake Stevens has come from behind to pick up the victory over the Snohomish Panthers. They were down by as much as 10 points, and they come up with a 7-point victory, 62-45 here on STSPN.com. Now, Lake Stevens has clinched their playoff spot, and they are now 5-8 with another game left to play.
Right.
And Snohomish has one game left to play. That will be against Monroe on Tuesday night. That will be on STSPN.com and on Fox Sports 1380 against Monroe, at Monroe. This will be coming up our Adrenaline fundraising play of the game, as we're going to go down to Steve Willits on the floor and talk to our player of the game, which is Ryder Kavanaugh.
Ryder Kavanaugh's with Steve Willits. You're posing for pictures. Let's go. Let's see what we can find out.
All right, guys, and we are with our STSPN Adrenaline fundraising player of the game, Ryder Kavanaugh. Big win tonight. You guys just clinched a playoff spot. How does that sound?
Hey, we're really excited to get there and just have some fun at the tournament.
So you got one more game left still. Still a chance for you guys to even rise up in the seedings a little bit. Possible home game. What would that mean to you guys, and what do you need to do against Mount Vernon on Tuesday?
That'd be really important to us, just for our seniors, to get one last home game. Against Mount Vernon, they pressed us last time, so we just need to be patient and under control.
Now let's talk about this game a little bit here. Trailing at halftime, this is a Snohomish team that you played earlier this year. You guys had lost 5 of your last 6 games. What does Coach talk to you guys about at halftime, and what created the spark? Because you had a huge second half.
Oh, he just said that we need to be patient with the ball and under control. Our senior leadership's great, so they always give us a spark. And our bench is probably the most important part of our team, honestly. They're always getting us hyped and ready to go.
Well, he's going to give a lot of credit to the bench, but really, I think you had 15 of your 20 points in the second half. You deserve a lot of credit. You're our player of the game. Ryder Kavanaugh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Again, final score, Lake Stevens 62 and Snohomish 55. Lake Stevens clinching a district playoff spot. Where they seed is what we'll find out in the games upcoming over the next few days. Snohomish still alive. They did drop to 3-10 in Wesco 4A play, but they have Monroe on Tuesday night. If Monroe beats or loses to Mount Vernon, then, or even if they beat Mount Vernon, Snohomish and Monroe would still play for that final spot on Tuesday night, right, Tom?
Yeah, we're figuring that Monroe is going to beat Mount Vernon, and if they do, they're at 4-9. Snohomish is 3-10 after tonight, but Snohomish got the first win over Monroe, so that means that they could be tied. But if Snohomish then, by virtue of having 2 wins,
yeah,
the regular
they win
season,
the tiebreaker.
then they go into the playoffs. So Tuesday night at Monroe is for in or out of the playoffs.
Everything's big coming up here on STSPN, as tomorrow night it is boys Kamiak Knights at the Jackson Timberwolves. That's at 7:15, and then you just take a looking at, you've got Kamiak and Jackson. Kamiak's 10-2, Jackson 9-3 in Wesco 4A, and then so big one on the line tomorrow night. And then on Monday night we're back here at Snohomish, and it is girls for what should be the 4A championship. We
both
think
those, yeah,
probably
it'll be for the 4A girls championship. Both those teams are the 1 and 2 seed. Whether you're the 1 and 2 really won't make that much of a difference. They can't fall out of the top 2 seeds, and that's important to be the top 2 seeds in the 4A because to get that first round bye.
And a little bit of bragging rights between the two.
Sure.
At the same time, he's right. You're not going to have to play in that first round. So Monroe and Snohomish will play, for the very least, pride and community bragging rights for the girls' game on Monday night. That's at 7:15 here on STSPN.com and Fox Sports 1380.
And the thing that happens in the Western Conference, really about the only conference, maybe Spokane does the same thing. you end up in the district tournament playing your own people. You know, in the Kinko or the Sea King tournament, suddenly it's Metro and Kinko coming in, and we're all going to gather.
Yeah.
In the South Puget Sound League, in the West Central District, they bring in about 12 leagues.
Oh, exactly,
for about
right.
6. Well, they get half the berths going into the state tournament with 8 berths. So you're playing all these teams that you don't see during the year. I always think it's a little strange that it's Snohomish and Jackson play twice during the regular season. Now we're going to play again in the district tournament because all we do is play each other. That's just the geography of the thing here in District 2.
Yeah, and that's true. I know I do some PA for West Central, and it's interesting to see these teams from a variety you got them down Southwest Washington, like Prairie coming up and being involved in that. And so we take a look here just a little bit on the numbers. Ryder Kavanaugh, our adrenaline fundraising player of the game, with 18 points, and he led all scorers. Also, Dante Lewis was 17, both these players for Lake Stevens. Trey Pavitt had 14. And then on the other side, Jake Sjogren led Snohomish with 17 points, had 13 points for Mitch Morris. And again, the final score 62-55 as Lake Stevens picks up the victory and assures themselves a district playoff berth. We appreciate everybody tuning in and our sponsors on STSPN.com. Hey, Tom, I'm glad you were able to get here. That worked out perfectly. I knew you were coming to the game at some point, and everything came together just right. So we appreciate you being here, and we've got your game coming up on Tuesday at Monroe. Snohomish against Monroe in boys basketball. Still a lot on the line right there. And then I'll talk to you again on Monday night, and that is at 7:15 right here at Snohomish in girls basketball. Snohomish and Monroe taking each other on. Again, thank you to Steve Willits, Todd Elvig, Tom Lafferty, and Eddie Aucutt, and I'm Mark Aucutt saying, again, the final score is Snohomish losing to Lake Stevens 62-55. Remember, winning is for today, but sportsmanship is for a lifetime. Take care and have yourself a great rest of
NBA 3 bubble. He just absolutely